Hey everyone, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's a big week in movies. First of all, welcome to Big Screen Energy. I'm your host, Harry, and with me is Mr. Terrific, also known as
Michael Hoult, or AKA Big Mike at this point. Mr.
So
Terrific is in the house.
we went to go see it.
Yes, we did last night.
This and that thing he doing over there. We went to go see it. So the big question on everyone's mind: Did James Gunn blow it? How badly did he blow it? And what are the ramifications?
Right.
We're gonna get
Did
to
the
all
gun misfire?
That's the question. That is the question. Did he ruin the Kryptonian? And speaking of Kryptonian, we're doing this, and then we're also trying to work things in with our friends over at Krypton Radio. So hopefully we can get this up soon. It'll also be through them through the audio, but for now we're going to do some video, and we're going to jump right into it. So Mike, I'm going to throw it over to you. What were your thoughts?
Okay, I was a little worried at first because of the leaked reviews that came out, and they were pretty negative, of course, which, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but they were immediately taken down. But we all know when something's posted to the internet, it's always there, even if you delete it, right?
Right.
So they were pretty negative reviews, and people were up in arms, and I was kind of worried myself. But coming out of this movie, there is no more worries. I mean, the gun did not misfire. It hit the target. It hit the bullseye. I love this movie. It was a comic book movie. It almost reminded me of also like Superman the animated series, Batman the animated series, Justice League Unlimited, like that brought to the big screen, like that world brought to the big screen, and I'm here for it. I loved it.
Yeah, everything that you said, and I was really impressed with how this was paced, how Gunn presented the movie from the start, which I will not spoil. Yeah, and I felt like you weren't looking at the time, like, because I do feel like the last couple of Marvel movies that I went to go see, I'm like, okay, let's wrap this up. Let's just, what's going on. I need this over with. I got other things to do, but I did feel like, and matter of fact, contrary to one of the negative reviews that we wrote, we got moved from set piece to set piece to set piece, and everything just tied in together.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the cast. Corenswet, how did he do?
Hey, I feel like David Corenswet he's Superman. I mean, he gave a very accurate representation of Superman. I think we mentioned this last night as well. Like in this movie, probably only 10% he was Clark Kent. You only saw Clark Kent a few times in this movie. This is Superman's movie.
Right.
And he embodies Superman perfectly.
Yes, he did. That and how he played well with Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane.
Their chemistry was amazing.
Wow. I mean, I haven't seen that kind of mix since Christopher Reeve and Margot Kidder. And you know what? I just watched it again today. And I was like, yeah. Because one thing I liked about Brosnahan's Lane is Lois wasn't scared. No. She wasn't the damsel in distress.
Nope.
She was always on the front foot trying to get things done.
She reminded me of the Lois from the Superman animated series.
Yeah.
Where she was, very up in your face. She wasn't afraid of anything. And she was going to dig as much as she had to dig to get to the bottom of the story.
Right. And I was happy with the portrayal. And the one key part, and for those of you that saw the trailer, you'll know what I'm talking about. But there's one key part where she's interviewing Clark Kent, and she's asking him some pretty, pointed questions like, "How can you be who you are? Think it's okay to do XYZ things without permission?" And this was the time where you get to see Clark / Superman's vulnerabilities, the arrogance, like why do I have to answer? And that's also his weakness, is like, hey, I'm just trying to get everybody to play nice.
Right.
But who are you to say that we should?
Right, exactly.
which brings along Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, this, my thing was, when I first heard that we were bringing along Lex Luthor again, I was like, oh, come on. How many more times do we have to see Lex Luthor in a movie? Because it's always a thing of, every time you get Lex involved in the movies, okay, Soups is not going to have anything to punch at. It's always going to be about land.
Right. That was the previous movies.
Right.
But
Right.
again, like in the animated series, in the comics, it's not like that. Lex
Right.
challenges him intellectually, but he also has weapons at his disposal, and that's what we got.
Right. And there was plenty for him to punch at.
Oh, there was plenty that Superman was punching at. Plenty.
Right. Right. And the biggest complaint that I know a lot of people had about Snyder's Man of Steel was all the mass destruction that was going on, and most of the cause of it was Superman and Zod.
Yes.
You know, you get mass destruction in some points here, but
Superman
they're outside forces.
Everybody.
Right, they're outside forces, and we won't spoil it, but they're outside forces this go around. So those who are mad about that, you don't have anything to be mad about.
Yep.
And the supporting cast,
everyone was great. Everyone, I felt the casting, I don't want to say perfect, but the casting was great. It was great. Everybody was great. You know, I just, everything fit. It was everything fit in the puzzle. All puzzle pieces fit. You didn't have to force any of them.
No. And that was the other thing I was afraid of, because again, some of the negative reviews we read, well, it's overbloated, it's too many characters.
Yeah.
No. Surprisingly, everybody fit in.
Worked really well.
Everybody got time to shine. And you know, then you get a pop-up of something at the end, which sit all the way through the end, the end credits.
Yep, there's two.
Yeah, there's two. And Crypto.
Oh, Crypto is great. He's the best boy.
Crypto was beast.
Crypto's the best boy.
So I would say, any trepidations that you had about this movie, the direction that Gunn is heading in. Oh, wait a minute. Before we go, do we have any complaints? I got small ones.
I have small ones too.
Okay, what was it? Is it spoiler free?
Yes. Sometimes to me the CG was a little wonky. Some of the set pieces were a little like, I wouldn't have gone with this choice or how they designed this. But again, it's nitpicky.
Right.
It was nothing that and the suit was terrible. But again, it's not enough for me to be like, you know what, this just threw the whole movie off for me. No, it didn't. The movie was so great that I didn't really care. And I know I'm just nitpicking. So I was like, whatever.
Exactly. Let's see. Mine. Okay. And again, mine are nitpicky as well. One, I kind of thought, even for this to be a PG-13, and for a lot of kids out there, this will be their first Superman for their generation. There was a lot of adult language. There's a lot of potty mouths in this movie.
Yes, but it's, you know what? It's not as bad as a lot of other PG-13 movies that we've seen.
Right.
I still feel like Gunn made, like, he was really walking that line to be like, you can still bring your kids and adults will still really enjoy this as well. But you can still bring your kids. Yeah.
The second one I had was the usage of John Williams's music. Like, you know, some of the motifs still flourished in certain parts. And again, just a minor nitpick. You know, there are those of you out there that will love it, but, you know, someone that, you know, that's what I grew up off of. One of the things that I did like about Man of Steel was the want to go in a completely different direction. Yeah. And I kind of felt like, if this is supposed to be a Superman for a new generation, and maybe it's just me not realizing, okay, well, they want to try to bring everyone in. I still kind of wish they would have gone a different direction as far as the music. Like, okay, we're trying to like totally separate, not necessarily distance, but we, you know, if you're trying to give something to a new generation, you know, you don't have to hang on to the old stuff.
Right.
We know where it all comes from. And like I said, everything else was done very well. And like I
Yep.
said, it's the most minor nitpicks. And then the last thing I had was there's a certain advantage that, certain forces had over Superman that I felt like, why did it take so long for him to figure out, well, if I remove this from the board, I could do what I need to do.
Yeah. But still minor nitpick.
Right. But it did not detract overall from
No.
the movie. So, with that said and done, scale of 1 to 10. 10 being
9.
9.
9 for me.
Agree.
Yep.
Agree. So, run, don't walk, watch a man fly again to the nearest
The largest
theater.
screen possible. Watch it on the largest screen you can.
IMAX if possible. Go see this movie. So, you know what? This is a here's my beer moment because now Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's got a task.
Now you show us.
Yep. So with that, we're out. We may come back with a spoiler cast and really start digging in some stuff. But for now, go see this flick.